Okay, thanks everybody for joining us at the December edition of the SOCM Spotlight. I'm here with April Jarocki and Gabe Schwartzman. April is Vice President of the SOCM Board and lives up in the Clearfork Valley area in East Tennessee. And Gabe is a member, and I believe you're in Knoxville, Gabe, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. So some East Tennessee folks here. And Gabe and April have both been working for quite some time with other SOCM members and other community members on economic development work up in the Claiborne, Campbell, Anderson County area, this whole triangle of East Tennessee. And so they have a lot of experience working with the community and a lot of community organizing experience, and also know a lot about strip mining and reclamation and lands just lands that need to be that the federal government and state need to help us work to reclaim. And so anyway, Gabe and April, thank you for joining us. And first, if you want to just introduce yourselves and how you got involved in SOCM and how you got involved in this work. Gabe, we'll start with you. How about that?
Sure. Thanks so much. So, how did I get involved with SOCM? Well, I got involved with SOCM with a couple years ago, I guess maybe in 2020, fully due to to Adam Hughes plugging me in. I had just moved back to I moved to the area. I had kind of lived in coalfield areas like West Virginia in the past, but had never lived in East Tennessee. And some folks had said to look up SOCM. I had long known about SOCM's like history and said to look up SOCM organizers. So I talked with Adam, and he and some other folks got me plugged into work going on in the Clearfork Valley. So yeah, that was my entrance to SOCM.
How about you, April? I know it's in your family.
Yeah, hi. I think I got involved in like 2015. Carol Judy and my mom, Vicky Terry, got me involved. So I've been here ever since.
Two heroes of SOCM, longtime members that I had the pleasure of knowing when I was on staff about 10 plus years ago. Two wonderful women. So can you, Gabe, maybe give us a little bit of an introduction of the work that's happening in the area and what you all have been, some of the programs that you've been working on up there in the last couple of years?
Sure. I mean, I think I'll be honest. I think April probably knows better than me. I can kind of maybe start us off. April lives up there and has been involved in all this stuff. So these days I'm an assistant professor at the University of Tennessee, and I got involved with SOCM and really the work up in the Clearfork Valley as a graduate student while I was doing dissertation research. And yeah, there's a bunch of different projects going on in the Clearfork Valley area. There's a group called TENACE, which is the Tennessee Appalachian Community Economies Coalition that, like you were just saying, a bunch of kind of the elders, some have passed on, like Carol Judy and Vicky Terry, April's mom, helped start. And April, you can tell more of this history, but it's been going on for more than a decade, and it brings together a bunch of different groups. SOCM, Adam, the community organizer, comes and helps there, as well as us as members are part of this coalition, and it's thinking about ways to create really community-led economic development in the moment as the coal industry, in the many years now that the coal industry has been collapsing, and the kind of economic and environmental impact that's left. So that's kind of, I think, one of the big institutions that brings everybody together to work on the many different projects. And yeah, April, you should tell more about what those different projects are.
Sure. So what we've been working on in the last, I don't know, year and a half, give or take, is the RERC, which is the Recreational Economic, wait a minute, what is it? Recreational Economies for Rural Communities. We decided that we have ATVs. They've come in and taken over the community. So, but there's not really much for folks in the community to do that don't have ATVs. So we started the process with the help of the EPA technical assistance program, and to try to look at ways to bring in outdoor recreation outside of ATVs. We spent like 6 months planning a community meeting, 2-day community meeting, and invited the whole community to come out. So it was really good. We're in the process of finishing that part, coming out with a final document. Let's see.
What'll happen with that final document? Where does that go?
I don't know, Gabe. I don't think we've yet decided where it's going to go.
Well, I mean, I think on some level, it's ours as a plan to use. Is, you know, the creation of the document, despite the fact that we didn't see any of the funding, it was funded by the Appalachian Regional Commission and the U.S. Department of Energy, no, it's the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and a number of kind of other institutions. So it lends some credibility to the plans that we have, kind of, that we've been developing. And on some levels, a way of us organizing a series of plans to say, how can we create diverse outdoor recreational economies that work better for the community there, right? How can we make these and bring more economic activity in a way that's not destructive? You know, right now, like April was saying, a bunch of the ATVs are not, you know, they're not the most environmentally friendly way to explore the outdoors, and they've brought some funding in, but not that much. Not that much money really directly to the communities that are based there. You know, there's RV parks and stuff set up kind of outside the valley, but not really in the area itself. So that's where that document, I think that document is like ours to use to go and fund the projects we want to work on, create.
Yeah, first, if you want to try to get people to take action or fund your projects, you have to have it written down, right? And so you've had good community input, there's good plans, it's doable, and that kind of stuff. So can you talk a little bit about the process for engaging the community? I know that TNACE is made up of a lot of different organizations and community members, so it seems like it's a very big collaborative effort. You've already mentioned Department of Agriculture and that kind of stuff. So could you talk about, again, how you go about that, and who are the groups that are working on this rural economic development work up there, for either of you?
Sure. So the TNACE is a coalition. So far, the core group is SOCM, the Woodland Community Land Trust, the Clearfork Community Institute, Southern Connected Communities Project, and Sierra Club. Am I missing any, Gabe?
That seems right. Yeah.
Yeah. And we invite, you don't have to be part of any organization to come. We've put it in the What on Earth newsletter that the Clearfork Community Institute puts out. We've invited the community members. If they want to come, they're welcome to. We've had community members pop in and out throughout the years. So.
And what's the role of government, of the federal government, of states, how have they been involved?
Well, it should be more.
Very loosely. Oh, you got it?
No, go for
Go
it.
ahead, Gabe.
Oh.
So sometimes it's very loose involvement. So if we host an event, for the last 2 years, we've held an election meet and greet and invited officials running for office to come and talk to the community about anything and to give the community a chance to ask them questions. So they come then. The Clearfork Community Institute, they host a annual Earth Day event, and sometimes we've had the mayors of the counties come. The Claiborne County Commissioner for Clearfield, Dustin Wilson, he's been real involved with the RERC program project for the last year. But I don't think of any other involvement from the government. Am I missing anything, Gabe?
No, I think that's right. I mean, we got an award from technically EPA, the RERC program, so Recreational Economies for Rural Communities. And like I said, it was funded by EPA and USDA Rural Development and Appalachian Regional Commission. There's I feel like there's more federal partners on there. But, and I think this is like a larger issue with some of the federal funding right now, is that it was unfunded technical assistance. So there's a lot of this technical assistance out there right now. Technical assistance being like, we're going to help you. The idea that there's communities that need increased capacity for getting ready to get federal funding or get, increased capacity to do larger projects. And I think even that assumption is potentially wrong, but the larger thing is that the funding for that project went to a consultant. So the involvement from the federal government was we worked with a consultant that they paid. We don't know how much, but the consultant came for the long meeting and kind of came for like a 2-day meeting and was helpful in kind of facilitating that meeting. But for the rest of the year, we did kind of all the groundwork of putting this document together and putting this plan together. And might not have been the best, at least from my perspective, wasn't the best use of federal funds when they could have gone to, say, stipend some of the people on the ground who were doing this work, especially if you're interested in building capacity for communities to organize their own projects. So, but that's just a slight soapbox. But yes, I think there's interest from some government partners, but I think we need to be clear about what community needs are. We need to be clear and demanding about what we need, and not let people that don't know set that agenda.
Yeah, no, I think that's very interesting. I think it shows how complex community organizing is and how complex it is to have community, on the ground progress, because you do need to have a certain level of funding. And where does that go? I mean, a consultant is helpful, maybe to help facilitate a meeting, but at the same time, if someone didn't even ask, do people need rides to the meeting, very basic stuff like that, or do you need to rent out a space or something? And so there is so much to look at when you're trying to do work on the ground, because there's so many people involved. So well, let's shift a little bit here, because this is something that we have SOCM has been working on for a very long time, and it's related, I think, to this. And there's also, I think, some funding around it at some point. There was, at least. Can either of you describe what are AMLs? It's some abbreviation that we hear a lot about, and we have in SOCM in a long time. So what is an AML?
April?
I'll let you give the definition.
Okay. I'll do the definition, but I feel like April's been doing work on kind of water and mining for a long time. But AMLs are abandoned mine lands and are what we it's the term for the mine lands that predate where mining was done and stopped before the implementation of the Surface Mine Control and Reclamation Act, which is SMACRA of 1977. So AMLs are basically mines that were closed and abandoned because before 1977 there wasn't a law that said you had to put it back in a way that was safe or put it back in a way that was environmentally at least better than just kind of leaving it as an open pit, which could leave, or a huge cut on a mountain, which, poses the problems of high walls that fall, big high walls or big cliffs that, can erode pretty easily and fall and people can fall off of, and landslides and water quality issues and flooding issues. So that's what AMLs are, those sites that were mined before 1977 are just left there. And the government has said that they're going to clean them up, but there's hundreds of thousands of those sites and some that we don't even know about. So there's tens of thousands still out there in Appalachia alone to clean up.
In April, there's some in your neck of the woods, is that right?
Yeah, there's, I'm trying to remember. I think last count was about 100, if I remember right. I think so, give or take a few.
And so how is
we know about
that we know, right? That's a great that's that we know about. And so what how has SOCM in the past been working to remediate some of these abandoned mine lands? I know you've done water testing. I know and there's legislation that we've worked on and things like that. Is this part of the rural economic community stuff?
Not directly. It hasn't been, except for maybe trying to turn some of the AML sites into, outdoor recreation parks, hiking trails, whatnot. I have been coordinating a water monitoring project. A lot of that has been hugely focused on current mining. A lot we have done a lot. I just can't remember everything that we've done over the years on AML work.
It's been, I feel like
it's a lot.
Yeah. So what are sure of the valley, April?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Hopes for the future of the valley. Instead of talking about what happened, what would you like to see happen?
Let's see. Big picture. Let's see. We'd have hiking trails, some kind of economy, either around outdoor recreation, but we don't want to turn into, say, Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge, but we do want to have some kind of economy, whether that be a tourist, like industry isn't going to come into our community. So we'd like to have something like that. We'd have all the mines cleaned up and yeah.
Gabe, what about you? What do you think? I know that you're in Knoxville, but what have you heard from some people on the ground there, some of the residents that they would like to see?
Yeah, I mean, I think April obviously knows much better than me, but I've definitely heard over the years, people there's an interest in things in kind of improving quality of life and making things kind of better and having more services in the area that some of which used to be there, even just like restaurants or things that food places that used to be that would be open, or you could sit down that would be open after 5 p.m. And that requires, like maybe a larger economy than there is right now, but one that's not extractive and one that's not based on solely on tourism and or at least a tourism that people could own. So definitely, I mean, I think there was an asset mapping process that was done a couple of years ago, and people talked about the wanting to I think one of the top things was like jobs, having more jobs locally, having more things for young people to do, having doing more things, having more access to outdoor recreational activities. A lot of people already do a lot of outdoor activities, but it's also like there's not a hiking trail in the entire area that's despite the fact that there's plenty of forests. So more infrastructure around that. And
internet.
Say it again, April.
Internet, affordable, reliable internet.
Affordable, reliable internet, and lowering energy bills. That's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
People wanting lower energy bills. So I think that looks like a bunch of different things, like getting better internet, like April's doing, working on better internet, getting some kind of pipeline for jobs for young people to so that people can get the services they need to be able to kind of get and hold a job in the community. And then things like getting renewable energy produced in the area that a local organization can own that can reduce people's energy bills would be great. That would be wonderful.
I like the asset mapping. I remember that, and I forgot until you had mentioned that. And I think that's a really important tool, right? Because you're hearing from people that live there. And unless you live there, you don't know. But you're hearing from people that live there about what they have, what they don't would like, in order to live a healthy, full life, in a very beautiful part of Tennessee. And it just boggles my mind that there is not a hiking trail in the area because it's so beautiful up there. And so I'm hopeful that this work is going to continue because I live in North Knoxville, and I could see myself going up there on a weekend and enjoying the beauty because I think that's a great. So real quick, how can people be involved? How can they learn? It's a multi-project with different moving parts. And so do you have any advice for folks on how to learn more? Anything along those lines? Support you.
10Ace does have a Facebook page. It's 10 Appalachian Community Economics. We've been a little slack on updating it, but we do have a Facebook page. They can message us there. They can reach out to me, Gabe, Adam, Bonnie, Swinford.
Excellent. Is there anything that folks can do to support in time?
Say that again.
It glitched. I didn't hear.
Oh, sorry. Is there anything folks can do to support your work right now?
Well, I'll just make a pitch to say that, I think April does great, SOCM does great work, but April is also part of a separate nonprofit, Southern Connected Communities Project. And, you know, there's that time of the year they could always use more donations and it could always use funding. It's a you know, funding is what actually keeps the physical and literal and metaphorical doors open, right? So fund
Yeah.
the Southern Connected Communities Project, SCCP, in April. It has a website and a Facebook page, right?
Yes. Yes.
Excellent.
And we're doing some structuring right now. So we're gonna have an updated website in the next few weeks, months.
Fantastic.
Which is exciting.
Yeah, very exciting and important. Because I know folks, even if they don't live in the area, want to support good work happening throughout Tennessee and support good people doing good work. And so, as Gabe said, it's that time of the year. Give to your favorite organizations, give to SCCP, and help with this important work from wherever you are, wherever you're watching this. So we've got a couple minutes left. Do you guys have anything else that you'd like to share? Okay. I think that's always a good place to end. Help us and support us and learn more. So you can also go to SOCM.org to learn more. And we talk about this in the Sentinel, our quarterly newsletter, a lot. Talk about it on Facebook and social media. So definitely there's some information about reaching out to our East Tennessee organizer, Adam Hughes. It's adam@socm.org. And April is a board member as well, so you can reach out to her if you have any questions. And thank you all for watching, and I hope everyone has a great weekend and a great holiday, and we'll be back with the SOCM Sentinel or the SOCM Spotlight in a month or so. So thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate it. Thanks, Gabe, April.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.